The Aviation Matters bring you all the latest information and events across the country under the Honorable Minister of Aviation on executives, policies, projects, and everything that's related to the aviation transportation industry. Stay tuned.
In this episode, we take a look at the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, Kaduna State, which was established in 1964 and charged with the responsibility of training pilots, air traffic controllers, air traffic maintenance engineers, aeronautical telecommunication engineers, cabin crew, flight dispatchers, and several other aviation professionals. The Nigerian College of Aviation Technology was formally inaugurated in 1964 through an Act of Parliament. It began operations in 1966 with the technical support from the United Nations Development Programme and the International Civil Aviation Organization. The mission for this institute is to consistently provide the aviation industry with professionals and other personnel through training-related services for safe transportation in accordance with international standards. While the vision is to maintain the prestigious position of the foremost aviation training institution in Africa and be amongst the best in the world. NCAT, as a comprehensive approved the training organization, has 6 training schools uniquely located, which are Flying School, Aircraft Maintenance Engineering School, Aeronautical Telecommunication Engineering School, Air Traffic Services Communication School, Aviation Management School, Air Emergency Training School.
We have about 6 training schools in this college. We have the Flying School, which trains the pilots and the cabin crews. And we have the Aircraft Maintenance Engineering Schools, which train engineers to maintain and repair airplanes. We have the Air Traffic and Communications School, which train the controllers, the radar controllers, aviation communication. When a pilot files a flight plan, the communication department will now send information to the other routes, airports, which are en route. And we have Aeronautical and Telecommunication School, which trains people on air navigational equipments like the BOR, the ILS, and other facilities that aid in aviation safety. We have Aviation Management School, which trains people on how to manage aviation. In aviation industry, we have managers. So, in fact, we've just started one in Abuja recently as a part-time. The full-time runs here in Zaria for 1 year. The part-time is 1.5 years. One is in Lagos, one is in Abuja, and we're looking into having one in Port Harcourt, hopefully by next year. And then we have Airport and Emergency Training School. It trains people on how to manage, run airport facilities, and to contain any situation of emergency at airports and elsewhere. We train firefighting, and we train securities also that manage airports. These are the 6 schools within the college.
It was designed to be a training center for Nigerian and African pilots, aircraft maintenance engineers, navigation aid technicians, and it subsequently created a flying school, aircraft services and communication school, and aeronautical electronics and telecommunication school to meet its objectives.
We are also saddled with training of approved persons in the installation, maintenance, and operations of technical equipments and other equipment that has to do with aviation in the whole. And we are one of the biggest aviation schools in West Africa. We comprise of other schools within the college.
NCAT has the following accreditations: Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority Approved Training Organization, ICAO Train Air Plus Regional Training Center of Excellence, IATA ACT, MBTE to conduct academic programs, non-accredited educators member of AABI, Council member of AATO.
This college is accredited and certified by Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, which is the local regulators. We have approved training organization certificate by NCAA. We are full member of International Civil Aviation Organization, which is ICAO, as a Train Plus institution, and we are designated by ICAO as Regional Training Center of Excellence. And we are also approved interim accreditation by the National Board for Technical Education, MBTA. And we are also a member of the Association of African Aviation Training Organizations, which comprises of African countries. And we are full non-educator member of Aviation Accreditation by the Board of International Accreditation Board International in the United States. We are approved IATA authorized training center also. We have all this to our credits, and I think there's only very few places you will go and you find there's a pilot school, flying school, you have engineering school, you have aeronautical school, airport emergency schools, management school within one perimeter. The biggest we have around. We have almost everything you can think about in aviation, and we do also international courses. Although when we train foreigners, the price is not the same with the Nigerians, and but the training is the same. We give them the best.
At inception, the college ran some 4 standard courses in piloting, air traffic services, air traffic maintenance engineering, and aeronautical telecommunications engineering. Today, it runs over 65 standards and abridged courses. The first set of the graduates from the college was 22 in number. By the year ending 1999, students graduating from the college had totaled 4,747, and to date, over 6,500 graduates have been produced in various fields of aviation. To this, Director Captain Alkali Modibo said a lot had been achieved by the college.
This institution has achieved a lot. You can imagine from 1964 to date, it has been going on non-stop. Even with the COVID-19, there was a short break of training of students due to the pandemic procedures, but the college has been running until today. It has achieved so much. As I counted, the accreditations we have, and the approvals we have from ICAO, IATA, NCAA, MBTE, etc. All these are achievements, and this college produced the highest number of instructors in 2015, 2016, 2017 as the highest trained institution that train instructors. So it has achieved a lot. If you look behind me, you see a lot of achievements and awards given by different institutions and parastatals, and all these are part of the achievement of this college. And we have just acquired a 737 simulator, an NG state-of-the-art simulator. That simulator is worth almost $21 million, and it is worth training trainees, pilots to become 737 pilots, and that will give them an edge against other pilots that don't have 737. Although here in Nigeria, only ARIC has a 737 NG, but outside Nigeria we have countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, Egypt, South Africa. They do also have 737 NG, and we could have people coming to train on that machine, and that will generate a lot of resources for the country and for the college itself. And also I would like to mention the firefighting simulator that we have, which is a new one, not yet not yet commissioned. It's one of the best in West Africa, one of the biggest. It's computerized. You can control where the fire starts, and you can put out the fire without the help of the firefighters. So the controller will be inside a control room, and he will now dictate where the fire goes in a simulated fashion, and they will now train how to put out the fire.
As part of its commitment to implement the National Aviation Roadmap, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led government has acquired new state-of-the-art aircraft for the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, NCAT Zaria, which director confirms more collaborations with stakeholders in the making for the college to have an assembly plant for aircrafts.
They bought so many airplanes recently, just before I resumed, and we've collected some orders. More are coming, and we're looking forward to work with Hungarian government to have a understanding to start to assemble Magnus airplanes. They are trainer machines. You can use them for survey, for patrol, and for training. They are light airplanes that are they have acrobatic capability. You can train an instructor to be an instructor on that machine, and it uses the PMS, the simple petrol you use in your car, instead of using aviation gases, or you use the jet A1. And that machine, we hope to start assembling it here in Zaria, and probably later on we start to manufacture. We are working hard to see that we have the company come in and train our people, so that we start assembling the machine. We can assemble it for the military, the Air Force, the police, etc.
Training activities at the college reached a peak between the 80s and the 90s. This was due to the provision of more training facilities like the F-28 simulator, a large fleet of training aircraft, construction of a bigger hangar, and classrooms, increasing the number of instructional personnel, professionals, and students. Changes and current trends in global aviation training has necessitated a repositioning of the college to meet up the demands of the 21st century. Strategic reforms are thus being implemented. These include a re-equipping of the entire college.
We have a lot of facilities. We have a radar control simulator, which is a control room where you can simulate teaching people how to control airplanes. It's a simulator also. It's a facility, very expensive equipment. And we have the Garmin, we have the ALSIM. They are also simulators that are used for training. And when you go to the aeronautical telecommunication school, there are equipments that you use to train engineers how to work on equipment for repairs and maintenance. And lest I forget, this college is RTCE, Regional Training Center of Excellence status by ICAO. Yes, and I think this college is one of the best in the region of West Africa.
The rector says that there are plans to expand the runway in the college to accommodate bigger aircraft. He said the move would improve safety and protect college from external security threats.
We have a runway, one of the only flying schools that has its own runway. I remember the minister used to mention that it's one of the only flying schools that has a runway of about 1.7 kilometers. And the ministry is working to improve the runway, expand the width, and then extend the runway length so that bigger machines can come. And we're looking at having more accommodation where it will be worthwhile to come and train here for foreigners coming to train on the simulators. So we would like to have more accommodation, befitting accommodations for the foreigners coming into the country.
The team toured around the school to see its facilities and engage with some of its head of departments and instructors who also spoke on activities at the college.
Most of our students will have their briefing every morning before they go out for their training. We normally do a pre-flight briefing or a general briefing in this class for us to know which exercise, for each exercise they are going to do, they must have a ground briefing on it first. They will teach them how to do the exercise, the procedures of the exercise. Once they have their briefing here, if there's anything, if they're going for navigation, they do all their charts, their logbook, whatever they prepared here. Any question that they want to clarify from the instructor before going airborne, they would finish most of the groundwork here. Once they finish it, they'll go and do the pre-flight of the aircraft outside and then go for the sector for their training. We can go with some of the students to see how that they are doing the pre-flight. Then might be going airborne with some of them. Most of the exercises how they do. Basically this place is for their own briefing. We call it a briefing room. Place called the aerodrome. And then it's the apron where normally we park our aircraft for our training. Early in the morning, the students and the instructor will normally come here and do the pre-flight checkup. But before the pilot do the pre-flight, the engineers normally do the pre-flight and then release the aircraft. Once they release the aircraft, the pilot, that is the instructor pilot and the students, they come, do their own pre-flight before going out for a flight. Whichever exercise that they are going to do, we have almost about 6 or 7 sectors here that they normally go to the sectors and do their sectors maneuvers. Then they will come and park again. We have the marshallers that they normally marshal the aircraft to a parking space here.
In the flying school, we have training of standard pilot course. We have the training of cabin crew, and we have the training of SFO. There's a dispatcher course, and we do some other trainings that involves English proficiency for pilots and instrument recurrence. The duration for the standard pilot course is 2 years at the cost of 7.5 million.
Yeah, they undergo safety emergency, a lot of training. For the 10 weeks, we have 10 technical modules training for them. We start the aviation with aviation indoctrination because they are virtually new students, novices. And as far as aviation is concerned, they know nothing about it. So we give them the initial training, which is the 10 weeks. We start with the aviation indoctrination, knowing the technical aspect of aviation. They will now move to safety operation procedure, the duties and responsibility. We also cover a safety emergency procedure, because when we talk of cabin crew, we are talking of the safety aspect, because primarily that is why they are on board. So we cover the safety emergency procedure, safety emergency equipment. We also talk about aviation security, aviation dangerous goods, in case they come on board, since they are dealing with passengers. We also cover service procedure, and then we do beauty therapy. At the end of the training, towards the end of the training, we do the practical aspect of it. That's the emergency evacuation, the ditching emergency in case an aircraft falls into water. That's what for the ditching evacuation, and then the firefighting exercise in case there's a fire on board, because you can never tell with emergency situation.
Basically, what the student comes in here for is that in INCAT, we start with them on the simulator itself. There where you get to know all the switches, you know how the aircraft flies, and when you are proficient in managing or managing the simulator itself, and we feel that you're proficient in that, we can now transfer you to the flight line where we will now fly the actual aircraft. So in addition to these two, the Garmin 1000 trainer is a device, for people to get used to the electronic flight instruments, because in the past we've been using analog instruments whereby you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instruments: artificial horizon, directional gyro, altimeter, airspeed indicator. These are different instruments. But with the coming of the Garmin, all this instrumentation have been packaged and put onto one screen, which is known as the primary flight, screen.
This flight maintenance department. Flight maintenance department, we have two places where we normally carry out maintenance. If the maintenance is minor, we have line maintenance and we have base maintenance. If the maintenance maybe is a minor repair, let's say we call repair snacks. If it is a minor snack that can be repaired online, it's normally done online. If it is a major repair which requires an aircraft to be brought inside the hangar, it will be brought inside the hangar. Most of these aircraft that you see, they are undergoing, to some extent, not major. For major inspections, 50 hours inspection, you have inspections that are categorized into 50 hours inspection, 100 hours inspection, and annual inspection.
This is 737 aircraft fire simulator. It has three major scenarios, which is we have the external fire, the engine external fire, then we have the internal fire, we have the smoke fire. That is the major fire we have on the simulator. And as it is, we have different kind of scenarios, engine scenarios, fire scenarios that we have on the simulator. So in case of any fire emergency, it helps us to train our firefighters in Nigeria as a whole. That is the genesis of having this. And as you can see behind me, this is the first of its kind in West Africa, second of its kind in the entire world.
Firemen under the auspicious Aerodrome Rescue and Firefighter Services Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria will now heave a sign of relief as they no longer are expected to travel to Cameroon for fire simulations following the installation of a fire simulator at the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria.